Okay, honorable members, I want to again announce that all parties should stick to their allotted time. Number two, that no new name will be accepted. It has already been announced. Now, honorable leader of the House would like to intervene.
Before you make it, President.
No, after, I will allow you. I will allow you.
Just a submission, sir.
I said I allow you. I have called honorable leader of the House. After that, I will allow you. Please.
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी ने जो अभी भाषण सदन के दोनों सदनों के समक्ष रखा है, उसके समर्थन में मैं बोलने के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूं। कल से इस सदन में इस अभिभाषण पे बहस चल रही है और स्वाभाविक है कि प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो एनडीए की सरकार चल रही है, उसके 9 महीने के कार्यकाल और उसकी नीतियों को लेकर दोनों पक्षों की ओर से टिप्पणी होगी। लेकिन एक बार हम अपने आप को राजनीति से थोड़ा अलग करके देखें तो इन 9 महीनों में क्या हुआ है, यह भी अपने आप में स्पष्ट हो जाएगा। Have these 9 months brought about any basic change? The first and the obvious change is, if you compare it with the previous 5 years, the term of the UPA 2, the word corruption is no longer being used in Indian politics. Scams, corruption, which used to be a matter of daily occurrence, daily debate, occupying media headlines, at least in the last 9 months, nobody is listening to the use of these words.
No, that is. You asked.
9 months ago, there was an environment of economic doom. The world was writing us off. I am not going to make a detailed reference to this because we'll discuss it in the course of the budget. But today, we are back on the global radar. And not only are we back on the global radar, the world has now high expectations from India because other competing and comparable economies are facing serious challenges. I was just reading the last issue of The Economist. Its cover shows India on the cover page, and the title is India's Chance to Fly. I'll only read the first sentence of their report, and it says, I quote, "Emerging markets used to be a beacon of hope in the world economy, but now they are more often a source of gloom. China's economy is slowing, Brazil is mired in stagnation, Russia is in recession battered by Western sanctions and the slump in the oil prices. South Africa is plagued with inefficiencies and corruption. Amid the disappointment, one big emerging market which stands out is India." This is by far considered one of the most prestigious journals in the world. Yesterday, sir, the Honorable Leader of Opposition, Shri Ghulam Nabi Azad, said you have only changed the name of the schemes. It's not merely the name. It's the complete substance. whether you only pay lip sympathy to the schemes or are you willing to take them on a mission mode? That's the difference. The Jan Dhan scheme for financial inclusion is not a change of name. What the UPA did as a part of financial inclusion was merely ornamental. The basic problem was that you treated a village as a unit. The village has an access to a business correspondent, or a business correspondent of a bank has access to a village, financial inclusion is complete. And you didn't have people opening bank accounts, very few. 12.5 crore accounts in 100 days. Many of which has money put in, and our next challenge will be how do we put money into those accounts. Every state government, irrespective of the complexion of the political complexion of the government, every chief minister, elected representatives, MPs, MLAs, all participate. Because we treated a family or an individual as a unit. Every person, every home in a village had to be approached. There are states like Kerala, where the success is 100%. Every house itself has been included. Now we all stand committed to federalism. But the monumental decision we took a few days ago, pursuant to the recommendations of the 14th Finance Commission, that every state suddenly has found itself increase in terms of revenue, not only increase in terms of percentage from 32 to 42 towards panchayats and municipalities, towards disaster management. The 11 states, and it's extremely important, the 11 states which are revenue deficit, their revenue deficit is also to be covered by providing a grant. And unlike the Congress approach of saying New Delhi sends money, we don't believe that New Delhi sends money to the states. It's a right of the states. After all, the money is collected from the states. It's people living in those states who contribute taxes. We collect them and we share them with the states. And therefore states, I found states which have non-BJP governments have become the biggest beneficiaries. And we are not saying this grudgingly. It's a right of those states and they'll get a right chance to grow. Couldn't this decision have been taken earlier that coal-bearing states, the fruits of auction will go to those states? Mr. Bhupendra Singh is nodding because sitting there, he has been raising it repeatedly in this house, that we have the coal, therefore give us the money. And we had the courage to say that 100% of the money will go to those states. And if you seriously consider the changing polity, and therefore I would urge the Honorable Leader of Opposition, he is not there, Shri Anand Sharma ji is very competent to protect the interests of the party, kindly introspect what has happened. कल कह दिया कि आप काम करने में जीरो हो, हम काम करने में जीरो हैं, पर सीट आपकी स्टेट आफ्टर स्टेट में जीरो आ रही है.
It's a zero balance.
7 state assembly elections have been held in the last 9 months. Andhra, we know who won. Telangana, we know who won. Odisha, we know who won. Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir. We lost Delhi. But we lost Delhi, we got 33% votes. 33 को जिस दिन 40 कर लेंगे, 42 कर लेंगे, तो स्थिति बदल भी जाएगी. लेकिन आपके पीछे राजीव शुक्ला जी बैठे, आजकल हमारे मैं नहीं हूं, क्रिकेट के नेता हैं हमारे, तो सबसे बड़ी अचीवमेंट क्रिकेट में मानी जाती है, जिसका रिकॉर्ड में आता है, नेगेटिव रिकॉर्ड्स में, कि जो दोनों पारियों में जीरो बनाता है, द डबल डक, द रॉयल डक दे कॉल इट। तो आपका आंध्र प्रदेश, इन 7 में से आंध्र प्रदेश विधानसभा में भी जीरो था, दिल्ली में भी जीरो है। तो ये पहली बार है कि कोई नेशनल पार्टी जिन स्टेट्स में हुकूमत कर चुकी है 20 साल तक, वो डबल डक स्कोर करे। और इसलिए आपकी 15 साल की परफॉर्मेंस थी और उसका ये हाल हुआ। कम से कम इसका आत्मनिरीक्षण कर लीजिए कि ये क्यों हुआ। आजाद साहब कल प्रधानमंत्री जी को ये सलाह दे रहे थे कि आपको अपनों से बचना है। यू हैव टू बी केयरफुल ऑफ योर ओन पीपल। वेल, चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम। Instead of advising us, please take care of your own house. And if you are to take care of your own house, I'll just recollect you and remind you of a very interesting line which was a part of the political campaign more than 2 decades ago in the United States. Now, this was a famous election where President Bush was contesting against a newer candidate than Mr. Bill Clinton. In that election, an independent candidate, Mr. Ross Perot, entered the field. He was an industrialist and he had booked television time and spent a lot of money on advertising and campaign. He had a very fine advertising line. And he was using the discontent at that time against the two, and therefore was a negative candidate. He got about 11% votes or so. One of the only independents to get so. So I wanted to advise Azad Sahib, who is not here, what that campaign line to the two main parties was, is what perhaps you can use within your own house rather than advising us. That campaign line was, lead me, follow me, or get out of the way. And therefore, as far advising us is concerned, you will recollect that the Prime Minister spoke in this house in the last session. You wanted him to come again. He's spoken outside this house also. And the consistent message has been, the government is committed to protecting the rights of every group, irrespective of their beliefs, caste or religion. And therefore there will be no compromise on that score. आजाद साहब ने यह कहा कि आप जम्मू कश्मीर में क्या कर रहे हैं. In fact, he went to the extent of saying, using a word which was, in my respectful submission, a disrespect to the wisdom of the people there. पूरा जम्मू रीजन हम स्वीप किए हैं. वैली में पीडीपी को ज्यादा सीट मिली है, नेशनल कांग्रेस को कम मिली है. आज उस असेंबली में स्टेलमेट है और उन्होंने कहा कि some people are a red rag as far as the state is concerned. आपकी कठिनाई यह है कि आपके रेड रैग्स थोड़ा सा वेरी करते रहते हैं. आजाद साहब आए हैं. आपने कल कहा कि some people are a red rag to the valley. It's true that we have a distinct opinion of about the historical blunders which have been made in relation to the state. And I'm sure whether the vision given by Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was the right one or Panditji's vision was the right one, history will make a judgment on that. The regions have voted differently. And if the regions have voted differently, how is the government to be formed? आपने हमें तो रेड रैक कह दिया, लेकिन आपके रेड रैक की परिभाषा बदलती है। 1953 में शेख साहब रेड रैक बन गए थे आपके लिए। उसके बाद वर्षों तक कांग्रेस नहीं होती थी, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस ही कांग्रेस थी, और जो आज नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के लोग थे वो प्लेबिसाइड फ्रंट बना चुके थे। सच में ईमानदारी से सोचिए कि कभी इतिहास लिखा जाएगा तो आपका जम्मू कश्मीर के संबंध में क्या इतिहास होगा। 53 के बाद जो 1957 का, 62 का, 67 का, जब चुनाव होगा और उन चुनावों के जिक्र होगा, तो हाउ डिड योर पार्टी विन द इलेक्शंस देयर? बीसीओ उम्मीदवारों के कैंडिडेचर रद्द कर देना. What is unthinkable in the world today that you reject the nomination of dozens of candidates and get your people elected unanimously. That's a part of the history, and that was the history you made. Finally, you had to correct your mistake and enter into an accord. But you never learnt, because without a popular support, you wanted to be in power. So you were in power in the 50s and the 60s without the popular support. उन दिनों एक ऑफिसर होते थे जिनके सामने एक एफिडेविट साइन करना पड़ता था, तो मजाक चलता था कि ये लोगों की सरकार नहीं है, उस अधिकारी की सरकार है. आपको पूरा जानकारी है. एक डिप्टी कमिश्नर की द्वारा बनाई गई, क्योंकि जिसको चुनाव लड़ने की अनुमति दी जाती थी वो उसका एफिडेविट कर देता था. तो 4 इलेक्शंस यू वन लाइक दिस. बाद में जब चुनाव सही हुए, सबसे पहला निष्पक्ष चुनाव हुआ जो मोरारजी भाई के जमाने में हुआ 1977 में. उसके बाद जब चुनाव प्रक्रिया ठीक हुई वहां पर और फारूक साहब जीते, तो आपने गुल मोहम्मद शाह के साथ मिलकर फारूक साहब की सरकार गिरवा दी और अपनी सरकार फिर बनवा ली. आज आपको रहम आ रहा है कि मेरा राज्य बॉर्डर स्टेट है. What did you do for those 3 decades? और इसलिए अब आपको लगे कि कोई दूसरा. अच्छा, बाद में पॉपुलर वोट कभी आपके साथ नहीं था, पर पावर के लिए पॉलिटिकल फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी आपके पास थी. पीडीपी बन जाए तो उसके साथ सेकेंडरी पार्टनर बन जाओ, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस बन जाए तो उसके साथ सेकेंडरी पार्टनर बन जाओ. हारने के बाद भी हम सरकार में रहें, बिना ईमानदारी के चुनाव करवा के भी हम सरकार में रहे. दिस इज डेकेड्स ऑफ हिस्ट्री ऑफ द कांग्रेस पार्टी as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. And now that the people of that region have voted overwhelmingly for BJP and people in the valley have voted overwhelmingly for PDP, some have voted for the National Conference. आज आपको तकलीफ है कि वहां हमारे बगैर कैसे सरकार बन सकती है. अब हमारे लिए भी बड़ी विचित्र स्थिति है, लेकिन हमने कभी अपने स्टैंड में अपनी ईमानदारी नहीं छोड़ी. पिछली बार जब वाजपेयी जी की सरकार थी, हमारी अगर राजनीतिक असहमति है तो सबसे ज्यादा हुर्रियत के लोगों से होगी, लेकिन क्योंकि हमें पारदर्शिता थी, ईमानदारी थी, तो वो लोग मेज पर बैठकर हमसे बात करने को तैयार थे. लेकिन आप 2 बार हुकूमत में रहे, आपसे बात करने को तैयार नहीं थे, क्योंकि हमारे यहां पारदर्शिता थी। उनके साथ भी हम स्पष्टता से, ईमानदारी से बात कर सकते थे। टुडे हिस्ट्री हैज inflicted a mandate, and people have inflicted a mandate in where they have said that one party is the largest in the valley, the other is the party is the largest in Jammu. Either one region is kept out of power altogether, or this may be a historical opportunity to bring about a larger national reconciliation in Jammu and Kashmir, which would be in the larger interest of this country. And therefore, to disrespect the mandate and say the red rags have won, even when 50 years of what you did in Kashmir is the root cause of the problem that exists in the state today. And therefore, I would kindly urge you, while analyzing the state with which you have a great attachment, all of us have a great attachment, you would seriously ponder over what has happened in the last 5 decades. अध्यक्ष जी, कई विषयों का जिक्र हुआ। मैं 2-3 छोटे-छोटे उदाहरण देकर मैं जो मूल विषय आपने उठाया उस पर आता हूं। कोल ऑर्डिनेंस का जिक्र हुआ। आपकी हुकूमत में कोल ब्लॉक्स का एलोकेशन कैसे हो रहा था? उस वक्त भी कोल का जो एलोकेशन था पीएसयूज को भी हुआ और निजी क्षेत्रों के लोगों को भी हुआ। Coal was being allotted to the public sector undertakings, it was also being allotted to private undertakings. The private people were getting it by a discretionary mechanism, a screening committee. Not 1 rupee was paid by any one of them. And I would earnestly urge members from Odisha, Bengal to consider this. Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh. Coal belonging to those states was being given by an arbitrary discretionary mechanism. But naam nahi leta, X, Y, Z, and most of those people who were getting it, their links with you have been established. In fact, an institution of name lenders and rent seekers who joined hands with an industrial group, became partners, and the discretionary committee, the screening committee allotted it to them. So you allocated coal blocks to private persons and PSUs, but by a discretionary mechanism. Supreme Court rightly quashed it. The CAG said 1,86,000 crores has been lost. Your representative said this is presumptive. It's a zero loss theory. Today I feel that you condemned the then CAG, but probably that 1,86,000 crores was an understatement.
Yes.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating. After the judgment, we brought an ordinance. And what is the ordinance? Everybody has to bid in an auction. आज मैंने पढ़ा, शरद यादव जी ने एक अंग्रेजी में लेख लिखा हुआ है इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में कि इससे दाम बढ़ जाएंगे। जिन लोगों को सीमेंट के लिए, स्टील आयरन के लिए चाहिए, उनके लिए नॉर्मल ऑक्शन होगी, बेस प्राइस होगा, उसके ऊपर बिड कीजिए। पावर सेक्टर के लिए पहली बार हमने कहा बेस प्राइस होगा, रिवर्स ऑक्शन होगी, जो सबसे कम दाम बोलेगा, the man who quotes the lowest price will get the coal block, because then he has to supply power at the cheapest cost. The cost of power is linked to the cost of coal that he gets. So this coal block auction has been converted into a reverse auction by which the subsidy goes to the consumer. और शरद जी ने आज लिखा, मैंने पढ़ा कि इससे बिजली के दाम बढ़ेंगे, रिवर्स ऑक्शन से तो कम होंगे, बढ़ेंगे नहीं। अब और फिर हमने कहा कि जो 5 राज्य हैं, पश्चिम बंगाल है, उड़ीसा है, झारखंड है, मध्य प्रदेश है और छत्तीसगढ़ है, थोड़ा सा महाराष्ट्र में है, तेलंगाना में थोड़ा सा है, द इंटायर प्रोसीड्स विल गो टू दीज स्टेट्स। And this is now pursuant to a judgment of the Supreme Court, and somebody still says, why have you brought this auction? So if there is a division, the division will be, let me assure my friend Sitaram ji, there is no denationalization. We are not planning to touch Coal India. Coal India will remain as it is. As far as private parties are concerned, private parties were getting it by a discretionary mechanism. Now they have to pay in order to get it. That's the only difference. And the states will be richer. And you should be happy you are an elected member from Bengal, and therefore your state is going to be one of the beneficiaries.
Yes, big beneficiary. Yes.
Of this. एक चीज आप सोचिए, I am just taking an aside. I am just taking an aside. I don't mean a personal disrespect to any ideology or otherwise. ये जो finance commission की recommendations हुई, these revenue deficit states, and I'd like this as an issue for a political debate. If you can answer it at some stage, please answer it. You have states from the northeast which are revenue deficit. You have Jammu Kashmir which is revenue deficit. You have Uttarakhand which is revenue deficit. I am glad even Bihar is no longer revenue deficit. Himachal Pradesh is no longer revenue deficit. Amongst the big states, there are only 2 states which are revenue deficit: West Bengal and Kerala. Andhra Pradesh is a special case because of the division. Because Hyderabad going away. No, you're right. Andhra Pradesh, there is no dispute. You are going to, Andhra Pradesh will be revenue deficit for a few years, and we will support that revenue. Because of the division you have suffered, and that will be supported. I am saying,
It's okay. Selam, please. No Selam. No Selam, please. TK, please. That's all. Selam, please. No.
Please consider this. Why should West Bengal and Kerala be revenue deficit when Bihar has not ceased to be revenue deficit? Is it something to do with the kind of policies which historically have been pursued? I think time has come to think that if as somebody said, if the economy keeps turning left, nothing is left of the economy. And therefore, that historic legacy which you left behind, that amongst the major states, even states with tribal populations, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, why should Kerala, which is socially the best state in the country in terms of education, health, human resource parameters, be revenue deficit? So time has come to think of these, that amongst the major states, the ideological legacy of policies left behind, this is really the condition. Mining, the same thing. The mining law in this country said, how are mines to be allotted? Mines will be allotted first come, first serve. जिसने पहले आके एप्लीकेशन दे दी उसको माइन दे दो. अब आज पूरे दुनिया में 2015 में एक प्रिमिटिव सिस्टम है. नीलाम कीजिए, रॉयल्टी के अलावा जो उस मिनरल की कीमत है जिसका वो एक्सप्लॉयटेशन करेगा और जिससे अरबों रुपए बनाएगा, वो पैसा देगा. राज्यों को, केंद्र को, सबको उसकी मदद मिलेगी. मैं 2 और विषय लैंड के विषय पे आने से पूर्व आपसे कहना चाहूंगा. आपने कहा कि मनरेगा को बदल दिया. इस साल में अभी 1 महीना और कुछ दिन बाकी हैं. 34,000 करोड़ रुपया एलोकेट हुआ था, 33,587 करोड़ दिया जा चुका है। 23,000 करोड़ केवल वेतन में गया है। 1 रुपया कहीं कम नहीं हुआ और प्रचार की दिस गवर्नमेंट इज एंडिंग मनरेगा। You raise the issue, why are the तेल की कीमत 25 रुपए हो जाए? Oil has a complicated economy. तेल की कंपनियां प्रॉफिट कर रही हैं, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजार में तेल का दाम कम हुआ। Are we aware there was a historical backlog which oil companies had? Notwithstanding that, by this reduction, the oil marketing companies are still have lost about, I don't know the last amount, 30,000 crores. अब तेल की कीमत कम हो रही है, ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनी पैसा लूज कर रही है, कैसे होगा? आपके पूरे तर्क में इस टेक्निकलिटी को फैक्टर नहीं किया गया। कीमत $80 की थी, उन्होंने तेल खरीदा, तेल का ऑर्डर दिया, तेल बांटते बांटते कीमत 60 रुपए पे आ गई। द इन्वेंट्री लॉसेज इटसेल्फ आर 30,000 crores, and these are companies in which government has majority. There are private shareholders, they are listed companies. Are we going to destroy these companies? Should not these companies factor in some part of the reduction in oil prices to cover up for this inventory loss? जो रेवेन्यू ने पैसा लिया, we should not grudge the revenue, because रेवेन्यू का पैसा किसी की जेब में नहीं जाता, वो देश के लिए जाता है। अब मनरेगा पे खर्च करना है या गरीबों के लिए खर्च करना है तो वो पैसा आएगा। अब एक सेक्टर में का मैं जिक्र करूं, हाईवेज। हमेशा देश में लगता था ये एक सफल प्रयोग हो रहा है, द हाईवेज आर कमिंग अप। द लेगेसी विद विच वी हैव गॉट द हाईवे सेक्टर बैक, टेंडर आफ्टर टेंडर, नॉट अ सिंगल पर्सन इज अप्लाइंग टू बिल्ड द हाईवेज। The banks are not supporting them, those projects have become non-bankable. हर कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के साथ डिस्प्यूट चल रहा था। This is the legacy left behind. Now that highway sector has to be revived, and for revival, public investment is required. So we announced that part of the money which is going into the revenue, via the route of revenue, will go to the construction of highways. So the government starts spending on highways. So once the highway process starts, then you can tender and the private contracts will also start building up. Notwithstanding that, 11 times we reduced the price of petrol and diesel and passed the benefit to the consumer. So that money has to be divided between, substantial benefit goes to the consumer, partly the inventory losses are to be recovered, and partly the money has gone into revenue and then used for such social purposes, including highway building. अब who can grudge this management of the economy? आप तो सरकार में हमसे कई साल ज्यादा रहे हो, आप अनुभवी लोग हो। आपने कहा कि शांता कुमार जी ने रिपोर्ट दे दी, फूड सुरक्षा खत्म होने वाली है। शांता कुमार जी ने फूड सिक्योरिटी बिल पे तो कोई रिपोर्ट ही नहीं दी। शांता कुमार जी की रिपोर्ट फूड कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया की फंक्शनिंग की है। हाउ इज दी FCI गोइंग टू बी सब्सिडाइज्ड? मैं अंतिम विषय पे आता हूं, ये लैंड एक्विजिशन का। एक प्रचार चला कि ये किसान विरोधी है और कॉरपोरेट्स की मदद करता है। जब एक्ट बना, श्री जयराम रमेश यहां पर मौजूद हैं, तो आपकी सरकार ने उस एक्ट में एक सेक्शन डाला, सेक्शन 105। उस सेक्शन के तहत आपने एक शेड्यूल क्रिएट किया Schedule 4. In that Schedule 4, you put 13 pieces of legislation, including national highways, railways, etc., coal, atomic energy, for which land is required. और आपने 13 पर्पसेस को एग्जेम्प्टेड पर्पसेस मान लिया। उन एग्जेम्प्टेड पर्पसेस में ना तो कंसेंट चाहिए, ना सोशल इंपैक्ट असेसमेंट चाहिए, और ना वो राइट टू फूड वाला कंसिडरेशन होगा। आपने कंसेंट हटा दी। आपके कानून में 13 पर्पसेस ऐसे हैं वेयर दीज थ्री थिंग्स इंक्लूडिंग कंसेंट आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड। दैट्स द ओरिजिनल एक्ट। फिर ये कहा कि 1 साल के बाद इन एक्ट्स में केवल मुआवजा बढ़ा दीजिए। व्हाट डिड वी डू? 1 साल के अंदर। आई एम ग्लैड Jairam is correcting me, because on these facts we are not in dispute. There will be one fact on which you and I will be seriously in dispute. आपने कहा कि 1 साल के भीतर इसको बढ़ा दीजिए। हमने उन 13 के 13 एक्ट्स में कहा कि अगर लैंड एक्वायर होगी, you will have to pay twice plus twice silesium, which is 4 times plus R&R. So we increased it. So admittedly, it's a pro-farmer step that we increase compensation in those 13 acts. Now those 13, so that the whole country becomes revenue deficit like Kerala and West Bengal. If your amendments are accepted, the whole country will be revenue deficit then. Well, I have just told you what has happened as a result of your policies. They are paying for it as a result of the legacy you left behind. So the 13 areas, admittedly no consent is required under the UPA Act, no SIA is required, no food security consideration is required. टोटल अमेंडमेंट का जो नेट है, जो 13 की सूची थी उसमें 5 और जुड़े हैं। मैं आपसे हाथ जोड़कर विशेष रूप से कांग्रेस पार्टी से विनती करता हूं, आप हमसे कई ज्यादा पावर में रहे। यू हैव बीन इन पावर 5-7 times more than us. Don't create an environment in this country where 2 words, infrastructure and industry, become bad words. And that is what you are doing. Please allow me to complete. आज सबसे बड़ा अपराध यह है कि आपको इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की और आपको इंडस्ट्री क्रिएट करने की जरूरत है। Now, which are these 5 purposes? The first purpose is, and that is where your act was defective, it was against India's interest, national security and defense. जयराम जी ने जब ये एक्ट बनाया, he put defense and security as a urgency purpose, but forgot to put it as an exempted purpose. So as a result, if Government of India needs land for defense installations, for nuclear installations, हमें पहले यह बताना पड़ेगा कि किस पर्पस के लिए चाहिए, कहां पे चाहिए, फिर वहां लोगों की पब्लिक इकट्ठी करके उसके 70% लोगों से साइन करवाना पड़ेगा, फिर उन लोगों से सोशल इंपैक्ट असेसमेंट होगा, फिर 5 साल में अगर वो इंस्टॉलेशन पूरी नहीं हुई तो उसके साथ खेत बनाने पड़ेंगे, और पाकिस्तान को पूरी सूचना देनी पड़ेगी कि यहां पे हमारी इंस्टॉलेशंस लगी हुई हैं बाय दिस ईयर। इट वाज अ डिफेक्टिव पीस ऑफ लेजिस्लेशन, इट वाज अगेंस्ट इंडियाज सिक्योरिटी इंटरेस्ट, दैट हैड टू बी करेक्टेड। एंड आई वुड अर्ज यू टू दोज इन योर गवर्नमेंट who have handled security, Antony Saab is here, the disastrous consequences of following this act. And the act says, social impact assessment, right to food shall apply when land is required for security and defense. Exempted purpose नहीं रखा, ये कहा कि मैंडेटरी पर्पस के लिए चाहिए होगा। तो हमारे दोस्त संजय राउत जी, जो सबसे ज्यादा, हमसे भी ज्यादा राष्ट्रवादी हैं, राष्ट्रवाद के साथ ये कहां खिलवाड़ करता है, इसके ऊपर भी थोड़ा सा हम लोग अध्ययन कर लें। Sir,
Rajiv, please.
sir,
Rajiv,
please
please.
wait. I will ask
Rajiv,
my
let him
friend.
finish. Don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt.
I will ask my colleague Shri Manohar Parekar ji to come with the files and show them to Antony Saab and Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, because they are both aware of it, where our strategic installations have been held up because of this bill.
Shame.
And you want to simply say, oh, we will give them an image, they are anti-farmer, pro-farmer, the country can suffer in the process. Now this is the first purpose. The second purpose, rural infrastructure. And here I have a serious complaint about my friend Jairam Ramesh. जिस दिन ये कानून पास हो रहा था, हम लोगों ने इशू उठाया कि इस देश में किसानों का क्या होगा, हाउ विल इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट्स कम, अब सिंचाई की योजना कैसे आएगी। आपने हमें कहा कि मैं सिंचाई के लिए इसको अमेंड कर देता हूं, वापस लोकसभा जाऊंगा, सिंचाई विल बिकम एग्जेम्प्टेड। मैंने आपका पारित कानून देखा, मैं अपना बहुत बड़ी भूल मानता हूं कि मैंने उस वक्त सीरियसली एग्जामिन नहीं किया। इरिगेशन इज नॉट एन एग्जेम्प्टेड पर्पस, despite the assurance given to this house. And I asked my colleague Sushma ji, who was the leader in the other house, we were all told, and every member of this house was told, that irrigation is being exempted.
I was told.
All you did to irrigation was कि जिस इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट में स्टेट में SIA हो चुका है, वहां सेंटर में SIA की जरूरत नहीं होगी। That's all you did. प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना भूल जाइए, उसको जमीन नहीं मिलेगी। रूरल इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन, जमीन नहीं मिलेगी। और शरद यादव जी और बहन मायावती जी कह रहे हैं कॉर्पोरेट की मदद कर रहे हैं। इरिगेशन, रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, रूरल रोड्स,
गरीबों के लिए मकान,
ये कॉर्पोरेट की मदद है। हाउ डू यू गेट लैंड फॉर दीज पर्पसेस? आपका इंदिरा आवास योजना। तीसरा पर्पस क्या है? किसी बिल्डर और कॉर्पोरेट की मदद के लिए बड़े मकान नहीं, हाउसिंग फॉर पुअर एंड हाउसिंग, अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग एंड हाउसिंग फॉर पुअर। अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग की परिभाषा जो 800 फुट से छोटा होता है, वो बिल्डर नहीं बनाते, वो सरकार की जिम्मेवारी है बनाना। आज 65% लोग जो देहात में रहते हैं, उनमें से जो एस्पिरेशनल हैं वो शहर में आना चाहते हैं। शहरों के आसपास छोटे शहर बन रहे हैं, छोटे घर उनके बनते हैं। आर वी गोइंग टू पुट दैट टू अ स्टैंड स्टिल? हाउ विल यू गेट लैंड फॉर दैट? और ये सारे रूरल एरियाज के लोग हैं जो अर्बन माइग्रेशन से आएंगे। शहर के लोगों के पास तो अक्सर घर है ही है। अर्बन पीपल हैव हाउसेस, गुड और बैड। इज द रूरल माइग्रेशन फॉर विच यू नीड हाउसिंग फॉर पुअर। आज पूरा 15% शेयर है जीडीपी का। द शेयर ऑफ जीडीपी ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर इज 15% एंड 60% पॉपुलेशन शेयर्स दैट 15%। तो 60% लोग 15% पैसे को शेयर कर रहे हैं। तो आज आपको 20-30% लोगों को एग्रीकल्चर से निकालना है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में डालना है, उनके लिए जॉब्स क्रिएट कर रही है। अगले 20 साल का यह चुनौती है। आप तो आनंद जी ट्रेड मिनिस्टर रहे हैं इस देश के इतने साल तक। ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस पे सबसे ज्यादा किसी के भाषण होंगे तो आपके होंगे। और किसी देश के व्यक्ति को या बाहर के व्यक्ति को कहेंगे निवेश कर, उद्योग लगा, रोजगार दे, पर जमीन के लिए पहले 70% की कंसेंट ला, फिर ये सारी प्रक्रिया होगी, उसके बाद देखेंगे तुझे जमीन मिलती है कि नहीं मिलती। Are we reaching a stage where industry becomes a bad word? And the last one is infrastructure. Infrastructure where land continues to be owned by the government. अब शहरों में तो फिर भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तो पिछड़े इलाकों में ज्यादा बनना है, तो उनको पिछड़ा रहने दे. Mr. Deputy Chairman, this debate is not between rich and poor, or farmer or non-farmer. This is between adding to the poverty of India and making India poor for the next few decades. May I just take leave? I read a very interesting document. And this document, if I am permitted to read, I can even place it on the table. This was sent to the Honorable Prime Minister at that time in 2012. It says, and I quote, Prime Minister's urgent attention is drawn to the serious concerns raised by the industry on the Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation, Resettlement Bill 2011, recommended by the Parliamentary Standing Committee. The bill in its present state will have adverse long-term implications on manufacturing, industrialization and urbanization in India, and will be key impediment in operationalization of the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor project, creation of national investment and manufacturing zone. Since most of the major infrastructure projects are today being implemented on a PPP basis, it is imperative to broaden the definition of public purpose to include development of NIMZ and industrial townships under this project. The bill envisages exclusion of PPP projects and industrial townships and has certain provisions which will not only make the cost of land exorbitantly high, but also make acquisition proceedings willy-nilly impossible. The insistence of consent of 80% of affected families will seriously delay acquisition and in many cases halt infrastructure projects. It has been stipulated that urgency clause cannot be invoked for industrial township, expressways, highways, NIMZs, which would lead to delay in land availability of our infrastructure projects. The imposition of 100% solatium over and above a multiplier of 2 will lead to cost spiral impact on land prices. While the bill was under examination by the Parliamentary Standing Committee, the department had taken these issues up on such and such date. I had also written to the chairperson of the committee and given a detailed representation. However, the concerns of the ministry have not been addressed in finalization of the report, which was tabled in Parliament. A legislation of this nature in the present shape will render key infrastructure projects unviable, slow down the process of urbanization completely. The coming years will see an increased demand for robust urban infrastructure and development of urban townships, which can fuel the next wave of economic growth. Prime Minister would like to take a call. It says everything that I am trying to say. The author of this document is sitting here, Mr. Anand Sharma. Now, the other day you got up and said you are anti-farmer because you are doing this. When this law was being framed, this is what the UPA ministers had to tell the Prime Minister.
I still stand by this. That was a well-considered recommendation which Jairam and my government was fully aware of, because these are national projects, national initiatives, whether the DMIC or the NIMS and the National Investment Manufacturing Zones or the industrial townships. That's very, very clear. The only concern which we have is that the social infrastructure, the definition is not becoming clear, and also opening a door for the private sector, that is questionable. That if you will allow the private sector, state cannot acquire for the private sector, that's the issue. It's not the job of the state to acquire for the private sector, whether for private hospitals or for private universities. That is not the headache of the states.
This is, we may come out with various explanations now, but at the end of the day, if I take Mr. Sharma's explanation, then henceforth we'll only find nationalized industries running businesses in India, because there can't be land given to a private sector. I only urge you. All right, sir.
I think the, sir, the
May
bill
I-
will, sir, the bill will come to your debate, sir.
This bill is about acquisition of land.
Okay, okay. Yes, yes, please. All right.
Sir, may I,
No. All right. No.
Provision in
Okay.
any law of any country for acquisition to transfer to the
No,
private
it's
sector.
okay.
That is written in the Parliamentary
Manan,
Standing
you-
Committee
you-
report.
Manish Shankar, you and your time.
Sir.
Yeah, please. Okay, silence. Okay, please, yes, sir.
sir,
Sure, please. Please.
two interventions took place. My friend Jairam and I have discussed this in the past also, you'll remember. I'll never reproduce our conversations, but I'm aware of his argument and I'm also aware of the response I gave. He says, buy the land and build on it. So if you want to set up an industry in India, buy agricultural land and set up an industry. My response then was that agricultural land can't become industrial land. It's the state to decide whether to convert the user or not. If instead of planned development, it may be, the land itself may not be agricultural land, it may be wasteland. If the only way of setting up industry in India is first buy land from the farmer, then go to the chief minister with a change of land user. We have seen what has happened in the last several years. Then CLU will be the only industry left in this country. You know it. You just have to drive across into Gurgaon and you'll know what happened in that state. The state survived only on one industry, which was the CLU, change of land user industry. And you want to institutionalize it. You want to institutionalize it. And Mr. Manishankar Iyer, I'm grateful he permitted me for the last 45 minutes to speak and came, it was only in the end. He said, don't acquire it, let people buy it. There's a difference. I of course know the difference. But your 13 exempted acts, Mr. Iyer, are all acquisition acts. They are not buying acts. You can exempt 13 acts from consent. You can exempt 13 acts from SIA. The moment rural infrastructure is added, housing for poor is added, the whole thing becomes anti-farmer. Housing, the moment irrigation is added, it becomes anti-farmer. And therefore, this entire misguided debate at some stage must come to an end. The issue is, do we want this country to grow or not, or do we want all investments to be diverted into other countries? Mr. Anand Sharma's experience is far more than mine, and I stand fully in support of the proposal that Mr. Sharma gave to the Prime Minister. It is my regret that Mr. Jairam Ramesh was more persuasive and he managed to persuade the Prime Minister. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now, Sri Sridharam Yechury. No. What is the problem? Yeah, pardon?
Sir, I'm sorry, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sridharamji.
Just 1 minute.
Half a minute. Give me half a minute. Acha, you see, Mr. Mistry.
Sir, stop my time being counted.
No, I know. You will have your time. You were not present when the time was, your name was called for moving the amendment motion. But now I can allow you, but it should not be quoted as a precedence. You can move the motion. You move the amendment.
Do the amendment, sir.
Okay. Amendment for which notice is given in your name. You say like that because you don't know the number. You know which number?
Yeah, it's just...
Say the number then. Okay, that's enough. Moved in your name, that's fine. Yes, Sridham Yechury.
तो एक दुविधा में हूँ हमारे